David, 24 players remaining. What can we expect today?
All these players have one goal in common. They all want to make the final table, which is the final 8 players. So I think you're going to see a mix of cautious play by the players who are less experienced and a lot of aggressive play from the ones who've been there before. So far, we have a few folds early on.
That is Jorge Pizarro from Chile. He's going to pick a better spot. Doesn't want to play the ace-9. Chris Conrad, representing the United States, squeezes the queen-deuce. This is Nicasio Toranzo from Argentina. On the button, Nacho with the snowmen. He's going to raise this up to 40,000.
A lot of the times, the players in the blinds won't give the button credit for having a real hand when they make a raise.
Now this raise is 2.5 times the big blind. The blind's right now 8,000, 16,000 with an ante of 2.
Carlo has a perfectly fine hand to call a raise from the button with in the big blind. Queen 10 suited.
And it could be a dangerous flop for the magician. Carlo flops top pair. Barbero with middle set. Lopez checks. He's got top pair, but he's out of position against a very dangerous player.
Jose makes a bet of 40,000 into a pot of about 100,000. I think he wants to give the impression that he's just making a continuation bet and doesn't necessarily have much.
Lopez calls with top pair. To the turn, 5 of spades. Lopez cannot win this pot unless he gets Barbero to fold.
Barbero has the second nuts, which is the second best possible hand at this moment, so I don't think he'll be folding anytime soon.
95.
Barbero trying to build up this pot. Nacho, such a competitor. We saw that in Punta del Este when he won the LAPT main event title there. Carlo Lopez going to call again. Puts his 95,000 chips in the middle. And this pot, 374,000 chips now to the river. River's a deuce of clubs. I thought maybe if a heart fell on the river, it would slow Barbero down.
170.
Well, Barbero's certainly not going to slow down now. Lopez checks. Barbero bets 170,000.
That deuce didn't change much from the turn, so if Carlo felt his hand was good then, he's probably going to think it's good now.
And he does think it's good. He makes the call. Barbero shows a set. And Carlo Lopez, well, the only magic trick that he did there was make his chips disappear.
6 setup.
Nacho looking at Carlo with a little bit of disbelief. With that monster pot, Nacho Barbero is now the chip leader.
King queen.
Wow, as if winning the pot wasn't enough for him, Nacho has to ask Carlo what he had.
And Nacho's just on fire. He's no longer playing his cards at all. He's just playing his stack and his opponents, huh?
Yeah, he's wielding his chip position and his expertise over his opponents and just playing pretty much any hand he can find where he feels that it's the right spot.
Well, Cardenas from Mexico is contemplating a move.
He calls 18,000 more in the big blind. He already had 16,000 in.
Mental note, that's what Nacho looks like when he raises with 7 deuce suited. Here's the flop, ace, king, 4, couple of hearts. Cardenas flops top pair, but a very weak kicker. Barbero in position. Not surprisingly missed the flop, but he's going to bet 40,000.
Right. You've got to assume, you know, Barbero's going to follow through and bet most of the time he raises pre-flop. He's been playing very aggressive, and he's been playing any 2 cards, although the players may not have seen what his holdings are. So when you've got an ace and a weak kicker, you've got a tough decision here. I'd probably call one more time and see how Barbero acts on the turn. And you might even hit a 6 and improve to 2 pair.
Wow, Cardenas folds. And if you're going to fold on that kind of flop, why even call pre-flop?
Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. He called 18,000 to see a flop, hit one of his best possible flops, and then decided to just fold for a $40,000 bet. Not really sure what he was thinking here. Maybe he just got a glimmer of
fear.
I don't know.
Well, I think it's fear. I think it's exactly what you're talking about. Nacho's just running this table over. Everybody else at the table is scared.
No, of course. I'm just saying if you're afraid there, why aren't you afraid pre-flop?
To stay in the game. Action starts on Daniel Negreanu. Ace Queen. It's a raising hand. Makes it 1,200. Tilly, 7-4, out.
Come on, Daniel, every hand?
Yes, every hand.
Jeez.
Every hand till Saturday.
Saturday, he gets his highlights touched up. Tony G folds. Pocket deuces for Nacho. Calls.
Spike call.
Do it. Let's. Uh-oh.
Bring it.
Spike call.
Oh.
Hello.
Go, Kenny.
Asham and Kenny call.
Here we go.
Got some of that loose cannon money.
So Daniel's raise gets a lot of respect. Four-way action. Deuce 5, deuce quads for Nacho. Joe Hasham steer clear.
Check.
Hasham checks. Ken checks. Daniel continues for 3,000. Nacho has flopped Hasham, dead. Negreanu, dead. Rankowski, dead. Niedermeyer and Dean Wormer, dead. And Nacho just calls. Smooth call.
I don't want to play with him anymore.
First time Joe's avoided quads all week. Poor guy, he folds and so does Ken.
Couldn't you have a pair of fives there, Ken? Just
No, no.
Luckily.
stick it.
Turn. Ace of spades. A pair for Daniel. Rut-row. Top pair. Not just thinking, please bet, please bet, please bet, please bet, please bet, please bet. But Daniel just checks. Daniel checks for a multitude of reasons. He could be beat. The only flop draw just got there. He may not feel he can get 2 streets of value if he does have the best hand. And by checking, he gives Nacho the chance to bluff at it, which he is not bluffing. Bets 9,200.
Barbero.
Well, we all know Daniel hates folding about as much as he hates food that had a face. Nacho might play any baby ace with a wheel draw the same way. Daniel makes the call. Nacho's got a live one here. Another ace would be very bad for Daniel. To the river. 3 of hearts. This is actually a good card for Daniel because it looks bad as any baby ace is now beating him. It might save him some money. Daniel checks. Nacho's got to figure out how strong he thinks Daniel's hand is before he can figure out how much value to go for. Going for the gray chips. Fires.
Yeah, that card legitimately scares me. I thought I had the nuts on the turn, to be honest. I think I had the nuts on the turn, but that one, would you bet aces and threes with that? Let me see. How much did you bet?
20,000 too.
Is he gonna do the commentary thing? Cool. I'm gonna split for a hot minute.
All right, I'm thinking like 6s or 7s. Sixes or 7s are good for me. I had you on ace-4, unfortunately, on the turn. So if you had ace-4, then you just made a straight. Huh. Can only beat him turning a pair into a bluff. It's the only hand. But Nacho Barbero is very capable. God, I don't like that river. Such a good river for you if you put me on jacks, right? You figure I have jacks, you have to bet that river card now. So many, I leveled myself with the pause in the turn. You know what I mean? On the turn, I studied, and like sort of changed my range in his eyes, which forces me to go like that.
Daniel calls.
I had the nuts.
Oh, that's good too. Quads!
Quads again, and Hashim wasn't in the hand.
More quads, huh?
Oy.
I was gonna say that's what I think fives or
Too.
something deuces.
There's no way I can
Give
play
him some chance.
No, I mean, yeah. That all makes sense too, but I was like,
Yeah.
I should always put them on quads because
I've never
run
seen so
into
many quads in my life.
Quads again, huh?
Hard to put them on quads.
I still think I have to call in a weird way.
Nacho drags a pot worth over 70K.
It's tough to fall though.
Yeah, I don't think I'm. The river card almost cost you money.
No, I mean the way the line you took is tough to fall.
Obviously, you're familiar with Nacho's experience, but who do you give the edge to in this spot?
At this point, it's pretty much anyone's game. Both players are playing well, and both players have about the same stack size and chips, so it's really anyone's game at this point.
On the button, 4-6 suited. Cardine decides to raise. Barbero with Dolly Parton. He's going to raise this up with 9-5. Wow.
Nacho's announced raise.
600 total.
Makes it 600
600,000.
with 9-5. I'm a Dolly Parton fan also, but seriously?
I think he's more playing the player, not the cards. He doesn't really care what cards he has. He just knows that Cardine is raising buttons often, and he's 3-betting him because he hasn't done it much, so he's hoping that Cardine has a hand like he does with the 6-4, and he'll lay it down, and he'll win it right here and right now.
Cardine calls. Very speculative call.
Okay, Nicholas is going to call.
Yeah, Cardine was getting about 3-1 on his call, but I still don't like it because you've only got 6 high, and suited connectors and one-gappers lose a lot of value when playing heads up.
Here's the flop.
Flop coming
9,
down,
8,
of
8.
diamonds,
2
9 of
pair
clubs, 8 of
for
spades.
Barbero. Cardine misses.
500.
Nacho's going to bet 500,000.
He bets less than half the pot.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get Cardine to make a mistake. I don't think he thinks Cardine has that strong of a hand, the way it played out pre-flop, how Cardine did not move all in, he just called. So maybe he's hoping that Cardine will bluff.
And Cardine is all in, and Barbero calls.
Okay, Nicholas
You can
is
tell by
gonna
the
go
speed of
all in.
Barbero's call, he was pretty confident his 9s were in the lead. So I guess that was his plan, to get Cardine to make a misstep. And now he's got Cardine almost
Tournament life is at risk
drawing
at the
dead.
moment.
An amazing development. Cardine, with only a 7% chance of winning this pot, needs running clubs or running straight cards
let's
or
see the
running
turn
6s and
card,
4s. Insane. Barbero induces the bluff. Well, the 7 of spades changes some things. Cardine, now with the open-ended straight draw, needs a 5 or a 10 to win this hand. This would be a terrible beat for Nacho Barbero.
Yeah, he played the hand great, and once you do that, all you can do is hope the cards don't hurt you.
Oh, it didn't hurt him. It's a deuce of clubs on the river. And Barbero, excited,
Nacho's going to take this down with 2 pairs.
played the hand like a genius. So well played. Induces that bluff from Cardine. Cardine took the bait, and now down under 1 million chips. Nacho Barbero in control of this tournament right now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, please show.
Good call.
I think
we both knew, like. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm commit myself. I'm not committed, but.
Action on Nacho on the button.
Ace-7 offsuit.
Heads up, it's a fairly strong hand. Any ace is usually a good ace.
Barbero raises it up to 170,000. Over to Barrows, and Barrows picks up an ace as well.
Being short stacked with an ace facing a raise, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get all his chips in also.
And he does just that. Barrows all in. Barbero immediately calls. And this could be it. Pot over 2 million chips. Well, we knew if Barrows is going to win this tournament, he's going to have to get lucky a couple of times. This could be the first time he does it. Let's see.
Nacho has got him out-kicked. Barrows is going to need some kind of diamonds, a straight, or a deuce to overtake Nacho's hand.
Ace-deuce of diamonds versus ace-7 offsuit. Barbero, a 3-2 favorite to win the hand and the tournament. Here's the flop. There's a 7 out there, but there are 2 diamonds. Hold on there. King, queen, 7. 2 diamonds.
Nacho saw the 7 right away and thought he had Barrows in horrible shape, but didn't realize he's got 2 diamonds, and Barrows is still about the same percentage he was pre-flop.
The crowd got excited. Barbero got excited. It's all a little bit premature, though. Barbero's got to fade 2 cards. Well, more outs for Barrows. This one's getting sticky. Barbero, a 3-1 favorite to win the hand and the tournament right here. Barrows needs a diamond or a deuce. Barbero on his feet. Here's the river. It's a jack of hearts. And Barbero wins. He can't believe it. It's back-to-back Barbero. That's right, back-to-back Barbero. What an accomplishment. To win one tournament is an amazing feat. To win 2 tournaments on the PokerStars series is an amazing feat. But to win back-to-back, absolutely astonishing.